Hey guys, so we're going to dig into what all the different nowhere entities are and what they do and why you need them slash how you add them to this specific world that we're building together. So the first thing you're going to add to your world, and you have to add to each space in order for it to function, is a player spawn point. You add this by clicking the player button. We already added this once, but I deleted it and we are re-adding it just to show you guys. Wherever you place this is where people are going to spawn into the world. The flat face of this, which is the local in the Y direction, is the front of the pod. So if we wanted to go ahead and rotate this, we can do it amongst its Z and have the users be facing out towards the banana or eggs or wherever we want them to face when they spawn in. The next entity we have is a teleporter. So a teleporter, when you click it, is going to also spawn to wherever the cursor is. So let's move the cursor over to a different location from spawn and click the teleporter button. If you click the teleporter button, you're going to see there's two new entities created. One is a teleport destination, and the other is a teleporter. This box over here is a clickable teleporter. So this is the thing you click in order to get teleported to wherever the teleport destination is. You can resize this and scale it in the X, Y, and Z directions to make it whatever size you need. And you can move the teleport destination to wherever you'd like in the map. You can get creative with these. You can put whatever mesh you want underneath the clickable trigger zone or button. And we'll end up adding in some of those buttons pretty soon. But for now, let's just add in a cube with some text on it. So let's very quickly go over here, add in our cursor. We can click add a mesh and add a cube. We can grab it, bring it up on the Y. We can go ahead and scale that so it's more like maybe that big. Scale it down a teeny bit, make it a little flatter. That can be one of our teleporter buttons. And this is really ugly right now, but it's just going to be for getting in the bare bones. And we can go back and change this to look however we'd like after. But right now, we're just going to go ahead and change this material. We don't even need to make a new one. Let's just use let's try to reuse a material we already have. Let's make it red and use some line art material. Cool. And then we can snap our cursor to the selected object, right? So now our cursor is in the middle of the selected thing. We can go add some text. We can rotate the text on the x-axis 90 degrees, rotate it on the z or z-axis by 90, y-axis by 90 degrees, x-axis by 90 degrees, x. So now it's flat. You can grab that out, pull it out a little bit. Right there, tab, and put teleport to egg. Bring that back out, scale it down, grab it over. Basically, we just made a little button. We can take this, make the material, make it, yellow. Teleport to egg. Cool. Take our teleporter. Bring it over here. We could snap it to the cursor location, but I already moved the cursor. So we'll just take it right there. Bring that in the middle. Something like that. Scale this out. Something like that. And boom. Scale it up a teeny bit. Now we have a teleporter. That'll take us to the egg. So now we gotta take our teleport destination. And we have to take that and put it in the egg. So people are going to spawn in like right around here. We make it like right in the middle, rotate Z, bring it that way, and people will be looking back out into space. And boom. So there's one explanation of, or instance of how we can use these teleporters, and we're going to have to make these go everywhere, right? So we want people to have to run around and fly everywhere. We want to give them the ability to teleport places. So having teleporters like these throughout the world is a great way to do that. I'm going to hide this skybox for now just so it's easier to work with. Go ahead and select these. I want to make it a little more centered. We'll pull it maybe not global, not local, so we can pull them at the same time. That's just our teleporter to the eggs. Cool. Now, on to the next entity is a screen entity. And now, screen entities are needed in the world to broadcast a screen share or a live stream in a nowhere space. So we're probably going to want to screen in a few of these different locations. People are going to be able to hang out wherever they'd like. The first one we're going to want to screen, I think, is probably right over here. If people will be able to sit in the coffee cup or on top of the teapot or on top of fruit and watch a screen right over here. Come to think of it, you're also going to have people being able to sit on the fruit over here, and you have people able to sit on the plate. So maybe a three-way triangular screen would be cool right over here somewhere in the middle. So let's just add the first screen, which is going to be right here. We'll grab it, bring it up on the z-axis, grab it, bring it over on the y-axis a little bit, rotate it on the z to 180. So now we have this. Bring it over a little more, scale it up. So now we have a pretty big screen that everybody should be able to see over here. Now I can shift duplicate this screen right there, rotate it on the Z, rotate it on the Z this way, so we have the screen facing the banana. We want to be a good viewing experience for the banana as well. And then we could take this again and rotate on the Z, bring the screen over here, even that out. You grab it, or let's rotate it again on the Z, whatever, it's fine. There we go. Grab it, maybe bring it out a teeny bit. There. Go back to selecting. That goes there. That goes there. Something like that. I don't know. Could be cool. So you should be able to see that from the different platforms, maybe. I don't know. Just a thought. We might also want like smaller screen, like maybe over here, right? So put our cursor right here. Add in another screen, rotate that in Z just so we can get that there, scale that down, grab it on the Y, Z, bring it up there, scale it down a little more. That can be one of the stages. Let's grab that, bring it there. Okay, cool. I don't know, we might want something over here on the tomatoes. Now I think we're gonna rotate this tomato now just so we can have this level on the ground. There we go. Here's a club tomato. So over here we'll have one too. And a nice little screen in there. Rotate down the Z, bring it down. Grab Y and the Z, bring it up, scale it a little bit. Go in, check it out, still too big, scale it down some more, grab it down here. You probably want it more centered. Scale it up a little bit, grab it there, that looks alright. Over here, do we have two? Maybe we do two, maybe we just do that, bring it over here. Maybe put another one right there. Yeah, there we go. Cool, we got screens in the eggplant, we got screens on the tomato, we got screens in the main base. The eggs don't have a screen yet. We should probably figure out what to do with those, but maybe those are just a dance club, or maybe that's just a meetup. This is a little bit more of a difficult one. We'll figure that out later. The next entity there is the content entity. Content entities are very similar to screen entities, except instead of displaying a live stream or instead of displaying your screen share, it's going to be a frame that you can upload a GIF, you can upload a JPEG, a PNG, MP4s, as well as MP3s. And you'll be able to trigger these sounds and GIFs and videos playing in customizable ways, all adjustable within the engine after you export from Blender. So for this case, we're going to want to add these pretty frequently throughout this map. So let's just go ahead and take our cursor and start adding some of these frames in. The first place I'd like to add some frames in are probably going to be right when you spawn in. So maybe we're going to want some right over here, floating in space. So let's click here and click content, and we'll get a content frame. We'll hit that 180 degrees, bring it up in the Z a little bit, scale it down. And yeah, so now we have at least one frame right here. That is cool. And we can take that again. We can just Shift D, bring it over a little bit. Now we have two. Okay, keep those. Shift D, bring them over here. And we have duplicates on that side next underneath the screen. Looks cool. We can end up adding more of those, whatever we like. We can add another one over here, add in the content frame, maybe over in the club tomato. Rotate that, scale that down, bring it up. All this different types of stuff. This is going to be cool because there's going to be an upper stage and maybe even a lower stage. I feel like I should bring a screen down here. Totally should. Yeah, leave that there. Okay, that's what fits right. Scale it up a little bit. Cool. Content frames, I feel like we're going to want placed throughout as well. So Shift D to duplicate these. Pull this back. Rotate on the Z. Something like that. I feel like pull it out a little more. Maybe we should place them in between these tomato things. Cool. Maybe something like that. I don't know. We can keep adding some more of this after. It's the same principle as adding in screens. You can add those in as much as you like throughout this world. The next thing we have are portals. Portals are pretty important, and we want a portal in each space so that it can lead to the middle. The first portal in a normal account space will automatically lead to the middle, and if you have upgraded account, you'll be able to edit this. But you can add as many portals to your space as you like. If we click on the portal, you're going to see that it spawns a portal entity over here. We're going to take that and go ahead and make sure that we have the local directions turned on so we can see where the negative Y is facing. And for our portals, we're going to want to make the front of it facing in the direction of the negative Y. And this is the opposite of all the rest of our entities, but it's just how portals function. So we're going to grab that, bring it up in the Z, make sure that we're just about touching the ground with our portals. And we're going to want the entrance to the portals to be facing, like you want to walk in this way. So looking that way. We're going to take this, we're going to rotate it 90 degrees, and that will make sure that the front of our portal is in the direction of the local Y. And I'm going to add in a few portals. So we'll just shift. Currently for portals, I almost did it and I caught myself. We cannot duplicate them. This will be fixed in a future update, but right now you have to add them each individually. So we're going to click portal again, rotate 90 degrees, and just rinse and repeat for the few portals we're going to add to the space, because duplicating them is an issue currently. Just be wary of that. So we have 2 portals in. Cool. Maybe I'll do the same thing on the other side, just so it's consistent and symmetrical, and then we move on to the next one. Make sure the local Y is facing the inside of the table. And yeah, we can match up, bring this one over, so they're somewhat lined up. You can even make them perfectly lined up like this. Cool. And there we go. So now once we load this into Nowhere, these are going to turn into editable entities that you can put in a link and people will be able to walk through them and they'll teleport them or portal them to a different place of an entirely different Nowhere space, actually. Next, we have trigger entities. I'm going to do a whole video on trigger entities, actually, and it's going to be a deep dive process in and of itself. But the basics of trigger entities are that they are going to trigger animations for us. I'll add one in and I'll delete it quick just to show you, but if we click on the trigger entity, it's going to give us it's going to give us a cylinder that will have different on enter and on leaves commands that you can tell it to do. Currently, this is limited to playing, stopping, and pausing animations, but in the future, this could be expanded to controlling lights and materials and other things. So you can use these triggers to play, stop, or you have to use these triggers to play, stop, or pause animations if you want them to play without a user clicking on an object or a mesh. Yeah, so we're going to move on from that, and we'll do a deeper dive into triggers when we get to the video specifically about triggers. And then there's something called a link block, which is a new entity to Nowhere, and if you click it, you'll be able to see that this is a cube. It's very simple, and what it does is it allows the user to have a clickable button that is invisible to them that will either open a link to an external website, or it can do a command inside of Nowhere, open a menu, or do some other type of control mechanism. Once you add the link block to the world, you can change what it does inside of Nowhere if you're a host of that space. Just like all entities except for portals, the front of the link block is going to be the opposite of its local Y. So the local negative Y axis. So if we want a link block, maybe, let's put it next to the portal. So we can bring it over here. We're going to want to rotate this by 90 degrees on the Z. And the front of it's going to be right over here in this space because the local Y is in that direction. Scale this down, make it a little skinnier, bring it up, put it right here. And then let's snap the cursor to select it. Let's add a text to the cursor. Let's rotate the text 90 degrees in the Z. Let's rotate it 90 degrees in the X. Let's tap edit. Let's go link. Let's have this link out to a website. So we'll put in the text, click here. So inside this link block, it's going to say click here. and we can make this link block do whatever we want once it's in world, right? So let's just go to the materials section. We'll grab another material that we can reuse. Maybe we'll use purple this time. And we're going to scale it down a little bit, bring it over. And yeah, so once we're in world, people will be able to, host is going to be able to change the function of this link block, and people will be able to click this space to do whatever the host wants the link block to do, whatever action he wants it to perform. And that is a wrap for all of our different entity types.